Well, good afternoon, Liz. I was really glad that you kind of came in and had your follow-up appointment today.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a while. I'm really glad that you've been back in. It's probably been about 3 months or so.
Yes, 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, so I'm seeing here from your labs and from your records that your trend of your sugars still look like they've been pretty high. I think, in fact, your A1C, do you know what your A1C is? I mean, are you familiar with what that means?
Yes, I
Because
know what
that's
it means.
that's your sugar that kind of shows over a couple months period of time to give us a sense.
Yes.
And it really shouldn't be any higher than about 7.
Mm.
And I'm still seeing it still, Liz, around 12. That means like your average daily sugar may be somewhere between, 3 and 400. And, at 400, you could end up back in the hospital again. And I mean, we just can't see, have that happen to you again. We just can't, keep going back in and out. So, what do you want to do about this? I know it's really important to you, but what do you want to do, Liz?
I'm not sure. I've been trying to eat better, and I'm doing a lot of exercise, drinking a lot of water. I'm just not really sure what else I could do. I guess I need some help.
Well, something obviously, isn't working. I mean, you're obviously doing something wrong from the plans that we gave you last time. Do you have those, the diet guide that Dr. Smith gave you last time?
Yes, I have it all.
And have you been following that, putting that up on the fridge so that you don't veer from that?
Yes.
How have you been doing on counting carbs and avoiding, sugars and junk food and things like that? Because I know teenagers, really have a hard time and want to eat like their friends. So how have you been dealing with that?
Well, I do count my carbs. I might go over it a little at points, but it's not like too bad.
Well, it obviously is a little too bad because otherwise we wouldn't be here at this A1C, of 12. So trying to figure out, I'm really trying to help you, Liz, to figure out, where are you going over with carbs? Is there a specific food that you're, eating a lot of?
No, not really. I usually just eat like rice or something like that, but it's not over the limit. I still measure how much I'm supposed to have. I'm only supposed to have about a cup of rice, and
So you're aware that you're only supposed to have a cup of rice.
yes.
What about things like, candy bars or ice cream or french fries when you go out with your friends to, McDonald's or things like that? What are you doing in those situations? Because something is obviously elevating your sugars.
Well, usually when I go out with my friends, I do make sure that my blood sugar is at a point where if I do have a little extra, my blood sugar won't rise too high. And
So you check your sugars before you go out, and then so you basically tell yourself, okay, well, if my sugar's only, say in the hundreds, then it's okay. I can have some French fries or some ice cream. Is that what you're kind of doing? Because I
well,
have to tell you, Liz, that's really not on the diet plan.
well, I don't like. If I do go out and I have sugars or something like that, I make sure that I do. It's not too much. I make sure that it's little by little, and I make sure that if I get home, if I find my blood sugar a little too high, I make sure to add a little bit more insulin, like the doctor told me. So,
So kind of what I'm hearing you say then is just that, if you're going to go out and be with your friends, then you could come home and just take some extra insulin and hope that it will, compensate for what you've been eating. But, the problem is when you eat extra sugars, you kind of go like this, and then you take insulin, and then you can drop like this, and then you can be constantly on this up and down cycle. And, that's not what we want for you. We need you to be here at this cycle. I mean, do you want to go back to the hospital, Liz?
no, I really don't.
Okay. Well, Liz, I'm so glad you were able to come in. It's just great. We haven't seen you in like 6 months. How have you been, girl?
I'm good. My blood sugars have been doing a little better.
They've been doing a little better?
Yes.
Well, tell me about that. And,
Okay.
it looks like on here that your A1C is down a little bit. I think it's down to about 10 now.
Yeah,
So
I did.
you've really been making some progress. Tell me about how it's been going.
Well, I do exercise a lot more.
You exercise a lot more.
Yes. I have my little portion controls. I don't have too much of a certain food. I make sure that, I have my insulin at the right time, the right amount.
So it sounds like you've really been doing a couple different things that have been working for you. You've
Yes.
been exercising more, which I want to hear about, and you've been really looking more at your portion sizes.
Yes.
Those measuring pieces we had talked some time about.
Yes.
And then the third one is, taking your insulin at the right times. Okay, on really the schedule on where it is.
Yes.
Does that seem to be making you feel better as far as the insulin, or what are you noticing?
I've noticed that, well, I'm pretty sure we discussed this before. When I used to go out, I used to just kind of check my blood sugar and make sure that it was low enough to have whatever I kind of wanted to afterwards.
Okay. I see. Right.
Yes. Well, now, I mean, I still go out with friends, of course, but
As you should.
as I should. But once I go out now, I try looking for something, like if my friends are gonna have a candy bar or something, I try looking for maybe a granola bar or something that's like sort of like a candy bar, but it's a little healthier, and I know that it won't rise my blood sugar that much.
So you've been looking for other alternatives, so you still
Yes.
feel like you're doing what they're doing, but
Exactly.
looking at the carbs a little or seeing where it would be with your sugars.
Yeah, like I mean, of course I'm a teenager, I still love candies or whatever, but
Nobody can stop you from having candy completely.
Exactly, but I still try go out and have fun. I mean, even though my friends do eat whatever they kind of want, I take better care of myself. I eat something healthier, something that'll make me feel more energetic instead of like a little sugar rush and then just crash later on.
So you know how you feel when you get that sugar rush and crash.
Yes.
And that feeling hasn't been something you've enjoyed in the past.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you've been feeling a little more even keel, it sounds like,
Yes.
on how that's going. So tell me about the exercise piece. You say you've been exercising more. What have you been enjoying?
Well, now that I'm in school, I tried out for the basketball team.
Yay!
Yes.
Oh, I know you said you're really looking forward to that.
Yes, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. The workouts are pretty harsh, but I like it. I have fun. I enjoy it.
And you haven't been feeling as though your sugar that you want to crash during the workouts, you've been able to manage where you're at with your energy level?
Yeah, I mean, I always keep some fast-acting sugar on me just in case
Super, I'm glad.
I crash. Mm-hmm.
And that has something you've had to use or haven't had to use during exercise?
So far, no.
Oh, good deal. Good.
Yeah.
So you've been able to kind of go into it with the right sugar level.
Yes.
So that you haven't bottomed out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with all these things that you've been working on so well, what's your main goal right now? What's something that you're, really trying to be focused on for you?
Well, my main goal is, I've lowered my A1C a little bit, but I'm trying to get it to where it's really actually supposed to be so that I can
Sure.
keep myself healthy,
So keep moving in that direction. We've got
Yes.
it from a 12 down to a 10, which is a huge success in the time period that we've been
Yes.
looking at. And maybe let's try to move it down even a little further to, a 9 to start and move down to an 8.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a great. So the bigger goal is getting the A1C down a little, and then these smaller pieces are what you're doing to make that happen.
Yes.
So how important is it for you to have an A1C of, let's say, 8 in the next 6 months? On a scale of 1 to 10, kind of like that pain scale we use? Mm-hmm. Where would you put yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 for just how important it is?
I would actually have to say about an 8.
It's an 8?
Yes.
Wow, so it's not a 2 or a 3, it's an 8.
No, yeah, my goal, I really want to reach my goal. I want to be able to feel good, and, I want to make sure that I know that I'm healthy and that I know I was the one who did this for myself.
That it wasn't about your mom, it wasn't about Dr. Smith, but it was about what Elizabeth wanted.
Yes.
So what would it take to move you just a little bit higher up to a 9 as far as importance? What would have to happen?
I'm not really sure, actually. I mean, it's really important to me, but I do have, I still have school and sports, and
Exactly.
I have to worry about other things too.
We all have a lot of things we're juggling, and to be honest, I don't think anyone can ever really be a 10 in
Yes.
terms of importance, because we have all these things that we have to manage, and sometimes they're higher up and sometimes they're lower up, depending on the day or even the minute.
Mm-hmm.
So on that same kind of scale of 1 to 10, where would you put yourself in terms of how confident you are that you can bring down your A1C to, what did we say, an 8 within the next 6 months? How confident are you that you can make that happen?
About a 10, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, I'm really confident because, I mean, if I was able to get my A1C from a 12 to a 10 in only a couple of months,
Yes.
I believe that I can do the same thing again, as long as I keep what I'm doing up.
So really, just continuing to do what you're doing, you've already shown here in the last few months that you've dropped it substantially.
Yes.
And I'm sure you were really excited to get to see that score, to see what the number was really going to be.
Yeah, it made me feel really good. I know that I'm doing better and that I'm healthier. So.
Did you have a sense when you came in? Did you have an idea of what you thought your number might be?
I did actually, because I know that before I wasn't doing as well as I could. And by pushing myself, I knew that, you know what, I know it's lower. I know that I did good. I know I've been taking care of myself. I know it's most definitely lower.
Okay, so you could feel confident coming in that, hey, when I see that number, I already know the work I've been doing, so it darn well better be lower because that's what the work I've put into this.
Yes.
So that makes sense. It sounds like for you, just continue to do what you're doing, continue on with getting onto the basketball team, and continuing on with those things you're playing out with your insulin. You haven't been in the hospital now for over 12 months.
Yep.
So I mean that's a huge progress and success as far as keeping yourself stable and feeling good and enjoying high school.
Yeah.
So how about we check back again, in our another 90 days and just kind of see where the A1C is then, and kind of go from there. And if you have any questions or you're not sure about something, by all means, stop in. That's what we're here for.
Okay.
Thanks, Liz. It's great talking to you today.
It's great talking to you too.